Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Should have been read. Today I'll be doing my January/February TBR. So this is the first TBR video of the year, and I'm going to change this up a little bit because I kind of want to do some reading vlogs with some secret TBRs. And so because of that, my TBRs for the 2 months, like my every 2 month TBR, is going to be very little in terms of the number of books I want to read. Like I still have a lot, but not to the extent that I had previously, just to give me some wiggle room in terms of the other stuff I want to participate in, etc. So basically every 2 months I will include 5 backlisted books. I will also include a 500+ page book, a series, because I really need to start finishing my series. I recently got some books that were the final one in a series, in a trilogy, and so I just really need to work on that. And so I want to at least read one series every 2 months, or one series every month, like ideally, hopefully. And then on top of that, I would like one of the series to be a manga. And of course, I have a lot of book of the month picks, guys, so every 2 months I do want to pick 3 that hopefully I will be able to finish and basically just catch up on all the ones I have sitting around. So with that being said, the 5 backlisted books that I want to read in the month of January/February, the first one is Whisper by Lynette Noni. You might recognize this book because I think I included this in my November/December TBR, and I still haven't read this yet, but this book does seem really interesting to me so far, so I still want to read this. All I know is like a sci-fi, some sort of like secret government facility, and I want to say like supernatural powers or like psychic abilities, something like that. And it sounds really intriguing, and I definitely want to check this out. Then the next one is The Strange Fascinations of Noah Hypnotic by David Arnold. I've heard amazing things about this book, so I definitely want to check this out. I really don't know what this book is about though, so I'm definitely going to go with it blind, but I want to say it's contemporary, and that's really all I know. But the cover does kind of give off some sort of like sci-fi element to it, so there might be some sci-fi, I really don't know. Then I want to read A Dangerous Year by Kes Chester. This is book 1 in the Riley Collins series. I also don't really know what this book's about, but I want to say it's like a mystery young adult kind of book, and I do like my mystery thrillers, so this one seems perfect. Then I have A Reincarnation Blues by Michael Poore. This is another one that you might recognize because I also included this in my November/December TBR. Haven't read it yet. I was actually debating about just not reading this because I don't know, there's something about this that is not really screaming at me, but at the same time I do like the fact about like reincarnation and stuff like that, because it follows a guy who apparently has 10,000 lives, and I mean, I'm just like so curious about that concept. Then the last backlist of books I want to pick up is The Coincidence Makers by Yoav Blum. This one came out in 2018, and I got the arc for it, so this is a very old copy that I've had for a very long time. And this book just talks about coincidences and how when you think something is a coincidence, that's not actually a coincidence. It's all because of these coincidence makers. So I don't know, but the concept sounds like so far out there that I am really interested. So those are the 5 backlisted books that I want to pick up. This next book here is going to fulfill my 500+ page pick, and honestly this is another one that you'll recognize because I also included and haven't read it yet, and that is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This will also hopefully fulfill my series challenge as well, because I recently got the sequel as a Christmas gift, so if I do pick this up I will be able to pick up the sequel right away. But this is just a bonus in terms of my series pick, because honestly the series that I do want to pick up for the next 2 months is actually this one over here and this one over here. So this is the Wrath and Dawn duology. I've heard some amazing things about the series. Like I've heard, actually I don't think I've ever read any of her books before, but I've heard they were something very like beautiful and kind of like lyrical prose, and those are usually like a hit or miss for me, so I'm really hoping it's gonna be a hit instead of a miss. But I do know that it's supposed to be inspired by the Arabian Nights, and I love my retellings inspired by books, so this one sounds amazing already. Then finally, the 3 book of the months, which have been sitting on my shelf for way too long. The first one is The Far Field by Madhuri Vijay. I want to say this is going to be a book mostly focused on Indian politics, but I don't know if it's historical fiction versus contemporary, but it definitely is going to go into Indian politics as well as class prejudices. So now that I know that going in, I can go in the right mindset, and hopefully I will still enjoy it. Honestly, I picked up this book because I've heard really good things about it, and so I was curious and I wanted to give it a try and kind of expand my taste in books, because honestly I feel like I read very similar stuff all the time, and this is definitely not what I typically read. So that's also something I want to do in 2020, just kind of reach for things outside my comfort zone. The next one from book of the month is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. This is another book that I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. Some people ask they love it, and other people just not so much. So I don't really know what to expect, and all I know about this book is about this girl who suddenly becomes a celebrity overnight, and that's all I know, and I don't know what to expect. But either way though, I've heard some mixed reviews and hopefully I will love it. Who knows, guys. Then the final book that I want to pick up for the next 2 months is The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock by Imogen Hermes Gowar. And all I know about this one is that it has something to do with like a historical fantasy kind of book, because there's something to do with a mermaid. But I don't know if the mermaid is more like a fantasy element or if it just something that was like washed up on shore, because that's what happened. They found a mermaid that was washed up on shore, and I don't know if there's supposed to be like a fantasy element to it, but it's definitely a historical book. It's set in the 1700s in London. So anyways, that is it in terms of my TBR for January/February. Like I said already, it's very short because I do want to focus on some secret TBRs, and we'll see what happens there. I really don't know what to expect for that, to be honest. And then I also want to give myself some wiggle room for the readathons I want to participate in. But anyways, let me know down below, which book are you planning to read for January? If you're also an early planner like me, what are you reading for February? If you have read any of the books I mentioned here, let me know down below what are your thoughts about them. And as always, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!